Isn't it interesting how finding an object can suddenly take us back to another time, another place? This egg beater, it has reminded me of a story I'd love to share with you right now. Let me see. It was when I was 10 years old. We had moved from Laramie, Wyoming to Portland, Oregon, and now I was a city girl. The only problem was it was a city. So my most favorite thing to do was to go to visit my Aunt Lillian and my Uncle Elmer on their filbert farm on the southeast side of Portland on somewhere near 111th Street. Anyway, it was a great place for a kid to visit. And when I stayed with them, I got to stay in the little dormer room of their little farmhouse. Some of you may be familiar with those dormer rooms. You'd walk upstairs to this little crowded space where the roof was pitched like this pretty steeply. And they'd sometimes put a bed under either side. That's where I got to sleep. Now the stairs led right down to the kitchen. My Aunt Lillian was a kind of plump lady, a happy woman who sang sometime when she cooked. The smells that came up from her kitchen into the attic room were absolutely amazing. But the thing of it is, when I got to sleep there, I usually slept soundly, except in the mornings when my Aunt Lillian got up at 4 a.m. to bake pies. You see, Aunt Lillian and Uncle Elmer were very industrious. She baked pies to sell at their little roadside stand in front of their property. Sometimes I would awaken quickly because the aromas of pies can be lovely. But when she baked lemon meringue pie, I was up like a shot. My Aunt Lillian made the most wonderful lemon meringue pies, and I loved the smell. It came up and got me out of bed. I ran downstairs, sat at the kitchen, grabbed a spoon, and waited. Right about the time the lemon meringue was ready to be poured into the waiting crust, she'd give me the pan to scrape. Oh, the taste of warm custard. I can still taste it to this day. Anyway, she'd put that in and then started to make the meringue. Now, Aunt Lillian, like many of the women in my family, we have a little bit of extra flesh underneath our arms. And Aunt Lillian, being like a little plump, she always got hot in the summer, so she wore sundresses. And as she cracked all those egg whites into the bowl and added gobs and gobs and gobs of sugar, she'd pick up that egg beater of hers, because she did not have an electric beater, and she started to beat the egg whites. When she did, the flesh under her arms began to wave back and forth. It was amazing to behold. The faster she would use her arm to make that egg beater go around and around and around, it looked to me like she was going to fly. Oh, she never did, but I was always waiting for the possibility. You know, my Aunt Lillian may never have flown around the kitchen for me like an angel, but the fact is, she could bake a pie like an angel.